Local Music Monday in full effect, people. How are you? You can follow along on all Disruption Network social media platforms. Shout out to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his fine staff at 315-335-0516. EJAmoving.com is where you can find them on the internet. They'll move pretty much anything you need them to move. They'll move your studio. They'll move your grandmother. They'll move anywhere, anytime, any place. 315-335-0516. Also, shout out to Joey's at 307. Delicious, delicious dinners over there. Call them today for reservations because it's pretty much the only way you're going to get a table. 315-864-3527. Shout out to Utica Coffee. Today, we are drinking, I think it's just a regular Wake the Hell Up today. I think that's all it is. Joe, did you get a nice picture of yourself?
I did get a picture of me and Justin.
I love
it. Why, this is just a regular Wake the Hell Up? We're leaving.
I think it's just a regular Wake the Hell Up.
I was hoping for cannoli or for making me crazy or something. I've already had 3 cups of that today.
Okay. I figured I'd switch it up on you a little bit.
I like it, dude. I like everything.
I know how to hold a sponsor cup, so does he.
I'm holding a sponsor cup today, too. Look at it. It's my buddy. It's my good friends over at The Drive, 92.7 FM, The Drive, locally owned and operated. And it's operated by our guest today, Mr. Genesee Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
And, of course, it is Local Music Monday. Justin's in the house with us.
Hey.
How you doing, bud?
All right.
You look a little tired today.
I am. I'm tired, and I've nailed it, I think. For a whole year, I went to bed at like 11 because we couldn't play any later than that. So I just packed up. I went home and went to bed. I got used to it.
Yeah.
And now, these bars want to go ahead and have us play till fucking 1:30 again and 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like...
It's happening again?
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, all right, fine, but I'm not going to be happy about it. But no, it's we're back to normal again. So I'm trying to readjust, you know.
Bro, I had so much fun on the 4th of July weekend. We came up to see you guys on Dakers and that Saturday. It was like a high school reunion for me.
Yeah.
And I see so many people I haven't seen in years.
Definitely.
And it's just cool, man. Get back in the swing of things, seeing people have a good time again. The dance floor was packed. You couldn't even move on it. We saw Lenny, and then the other Lenny, and then the other Lenny. There's so many different Lennys there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lennys.
There's a lot of Lennys. Yeah, and they're all drummers, and they were all playing with you. It was cool. And then the addition to Ryan Quinn in your band is you couldn't find a better replacement.
Yeah, and that was, it's so funny because I always saved him for last when everybody's like, oh, it's the new lineup, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, it's some asshole named Ryan Quinn.
Yeah.
You know, like that, just to see what the reaction was, and they were like, wait, what? You got Ryan Quinn to sing with you? I'm like, yeah, he likes us a little bit.
Yeah, man.
And we love him, so, I mean, it's just, you know, he fit right in, and the chemistry's there and everything. So,
yeah,
you know, it's been awesome. But yeah, I mean, Dakers, it's funny. I mean, there's people still that I talk to. They're like, you know, I've never been up to Dakers. I should get up there sometime. No, you shouldn't just get up there. You should make it a plan. Like, pick a weekend or pick all 3. You know what I mean? And just go.
It's an experience.
It really is. It's a true experience. It's not just a regular show. It's not, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
it's just different.
It's like I can imagine. It's like you guys are up in the woods, you're hidden away, you ain't going home, so you're staying over.
What happens at Takers stays at Takers.
And the energy just goes through the roof. Yeah, man, I know.
I mean, there's boobs out all the time. It's like crazy, you know, I mean, I don't know.
That was another reason why I loved being there.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like, people are also feeling the same exact way, but don't you like when you play not in town, like you know you're going to stay the night, it's like, wow, we're like a real band.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys go everywhere now.
Right, yeah. We used to do that at Dakers, and then somebody got a bright idea of driving back and forth, so I have no idea why. I don't drive at all, period, because
I don't blame you.
I fall asleep at the wheel. Like, I mean, as soon as it hits dusk and the sun starts setting, if my limit is a radius that hits the casino, and then, like, or Harpoon Eddies, I'll go to Sylvan Beach and back. But anywhere farther than that, you take me out to Syracuse and then make me drive home, I'm like... You know, I just can't do it. So I'm like, all right, I'll ride home and sleep in my own bed if somebody else is driving. I'm cool with that.
Indeed.
You know, so.
That's the reason why I went.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, though, it's like those gigs that you do go and you get a hotel room or something, you know. You almost want to do like the rock star thing and like, you know, like Keith, or it wasn't Keith Moon, it was Joe Walsh and Keith Moon, I think it was, that threw the TV out the window.
Oh, God, yeah. Moon was famous for that.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Walsh, like, I don't know, drove a car into a pool or something. I don't know, something crazy like that. But, you know, I've always wanted to do something like that. But then I get there and I have no balls. So
because you don't have a record company to pay for it.
That too.
That too.
Moon one time, two things Moon did. He paid 9 New York City cab drivers to block off the street so he could throw everything out the hotel window. And another time they left the hotel and they were headed to the airport and he started screaming, "You got to bring me back. You got to bring me back." So they brought him back to the hotel and they were waiting for him. And then they seen shit coming out of the hotel window. He said, "I forgot to trash the room."
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Joe's got a lot of great rock and roll stories. What do you think one of your favorite all-time rock and roll stories is?
Oh, man. It's hard when you ask me like that because
I'm
there
gonna
are
put you
so
on the
many
spot.
of them. Yeah.
Right.
You know, David Lee Roth, in his book that he wrote years ago, talked about how this is probably the most ingenious one. Somebody on their road crew discovered what the glue is that they put those road titties down with. You know those things? Yeah. Super high strength stuff. So they glued all the furniture to the ceiling. They got a 5-gallon bucket of it somehow, and they glued all the hotel room furniture to the ceiling. Everything was up there. The bed, they had everything glued together, hanging off the ceiling.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
You imagine they'd have to literally gut the room.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have to tear the whole ceiling.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Joe's playing in a bunch of bands right now, too. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I'm not playing in them. I'm just Slug is going to do something.
Yeah, there's no set date.
There's no set date yet because you had to wait so long to really start to plan things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the rules were changing so quickly. So Slug is going to do something. I'm like this sticky wheel with them. I keep going, come on, fuck it. Just book bar gigs. Fuck it. And they're like, no, we've got a plan. So, you know. But, and then I'm playing with Soup Bone Charlie.
Oh, cool.
Up at the Zoo Brewfest August 7th.
Nice. Shout out Chris Pauly.
Chris Pauly and the guys. I went over and started rehearsing with them. And then I talked to Dan Happ, so I'm playing with China Pig.
Oh,
although
sweet.
they may change their name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they may change their name, he said, because it might be somebody might take it as a wrong connotation. But then again, he may not. Dan's one of those guys who, you know.
Doesn't care.
Yeah, he's got balls, yeah. But I'm doing the Brewfest, probably doing a couple of songs with them. And then I went and played with Sound Barrier one night.
Oh, cool.
And we're doing, you know, the Blues Society thing, but it's hard to start another band, you know? Thunderwatt was so great, and we were so spoiled by Jim.
Yeah.
Right.
That it's hard. You know what I mean? It's going to sound totally harsh, but, you know, I know about 15 guys, but 11 of them are loose cannons, and the other 4 are just plain nuts. And so I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
But talk about the Blues Society thing, because you got a huge event coming up, and is it on Saturday?
It's on Sunday.
Sunday.
I shouldn't have worn a tie-dye. This looks like the Tournament of Roses parade. I look like a float. Oh, Jesus. No, so Mohawk Valley Blues Society. Now, first of all, Wednesday night's the open jam. Brian Mulkern Band is going to be hosting that. So that's a lot of fun, and they're up at Piggy Pat's.
Yep.
You've got too many gigs, but you're always invited.
I know. I love that whole thing. The Mohawk Valley Blues Society, I love it all.
Yeah, and we're going
love those.
We're going to ask
events.
the trio again to come up sometime.
We'd love it. We would be honored.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'd be honored.
But Sunday, we're bringing back the Free Blues Picnic at the Waterfront Park up in Sylvan Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And it's right by where the parking area is for the Midway down there. And room full of blues. Legendary band. They've been together since the late 60s. They're going to be the headliners, and it's completely free. And then Los Blancos is the other band, and Taz Crew, who is another really cool blues band, is opening up. So, and you know, it's going to be a great time.
And it's free.
We couldn't do it last year. It's totally free. I should thank the sponsors. I got to try and run them down. Bank of Utica, Harley Davidson of Utica, and Willie's Chop Shop. Those guys, the Carbones, were cool to jump in on this.
Nice.
Yeah. Joe Womling up there at Sunrise Building Supply. Trailer Marketing Services, our buddy Jeff.
Never heard of him.
I don't know who he is either.
Yeah. I know Tim. I know Tim really well.
We know Tim Moyer.
Never,
he's the unofficial sponsor here at Local Music Monday.
We know Tim.
You should have him on.
Yeah, one of these days.
I'm beginning to think that Jeff Moore doesn't exist because he always this guy that has his Facebook page says he's pulling in every single gig, parking the car at every gig we play, and then nobody ever walks in and says, "Hi, I'm Jeff Moyer."
Mm-hmm. I don't know. He gave me a check for the Blues Society. I know he exists. But, so we've got it's going to be Sunday. It's going to be a great day. And it's always a lot of fun up there. That park is perfect. I wish they would build, and there was talk about it, build an actual permanent bandstand there. Because we rented the City of Utica one, and we're going to have that towed up because nobody wants to build a stage anymore.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you do it.
Costs a lot of money.
Yeah, you build it and then you got to take it down at the end of the night. But anyways,
So much work.
That park is great because it's long and it looks thin, but it's really not.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be at least wide as a football field.
Sure.
Yeah.
And as long as about 3 of them. And people can hear the music all the way down to the bathrooms for the beach. It's just such a great location.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
So which one is Waterfront Park? Is that the one with the swing sets and all that? It's like as soon as you pull into town, or is it somewhere
No. It's the one, you know where the Crazy Clam was?
Yep.
You go to the Crazy Clam and then you drive past it, and the channel is right here, and the parking lot is adjacent to the channel. The park is right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If you go to the end of it, you hit all the rocks. You can't go, like, the beach isn't there. The beach is all the way at the other end.
Right.
I know the steps.
When you went the Crazy
it looks
Clam,
like the Summer of Soul over here again.
Right,
Which was a great documentary.
I know.
Yes.
Talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You as soon as you hit the Crazy Clam, you veer left, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So-
there's that long extent of grass. And they have the car shows there every Thursday
Yes.
night. It's the same place they have the car shows.
Oh, copied that.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
Cool.
Roomful of Blues, I mean, it's like a 12-piece band with horns in the whole 9 yards. And like I said, they've been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
They are a legendary band. And if you haven't seen them, you should check them out on YouTube and stuff like that and come up and see them live. Because, when you get a full-blown horn band like that, they're always spectacular.
Right.
The horn section is just something to experience. And those guys are real. It's like when Rare Earth was downtown a couple of years ago. Remember how cool that was?
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Hey, I just woke the hell up.
And bonus, too, with Los Blancos opening.
I know.
And those guys are still kicking it, still doing their thing at such a high level. Steve and Colin, those guys are awesome. Legends they're in this area.
Yeah, and Colin, I mean, what doesn't he do? He sings, he plays his ass off. The whole band is really great.
Yeah.
So. And then Todd's Crew is another 4-piece band, and they're from a little closer to the Albany area, but they do a lot of stuff with us in the Mohawk Valley Blues Society. So they're going to be there. And he's like a Stevie Ray Vaughan-esque guitar slinger. So we have 3 distinctly different styles, but it's going to be a great day.
That's the one thing I love about the Mohawk Valley Blues Society too, is that like there's people from all over. It just happens to be in the Mohawk Valley, but there's people from all over the East Coast, like in the eastern, like Northeast, that come. They'll travel to wherever these are to play. You know what I mean? Like they come down and
right up until COVID, one of the board members was Zen Reinhardt. She's a bass player. She was phenomenal.
Yep.
She was driving up from Massachusetts.
Yep. Yeah. And she's a board member for the Blues Society. Yeah.
She just wrapped up her term right before COVID though, and then when COVID hit, she was like, "I'm not coming up there."
Who's the president of Blue Society?
It's Mark Sistai.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's president. Bernie Clark is the vice president, and then the board is just the other 8 of us.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. We are live on Facebook. A bunch of people checking in, saying hello. We got to give a shout out to Tim Moyer, who says Mondays are his. This is the favorite part of his Mondays. And he's also saying Jeff is like Charlie from Charlie's Angels. You only hear a voice. We got to give a shout out to Motor Lord, who calls you John Lord. He thinks you look like John Lord.
I like that he thinks that. Yeah. I'll go with that. That's cool. Better than, a Tournament of Roses float.
Roy Costin's on.
He's saying hello. What's up, Roy? Good to hear from you.
Dave Borges on, who I'm gigging with tonight. I just found out. We just playing because I'm playing by myself tonight at. I was playing by myself at Harpoon Eddie's from 6 to 9. Bummed again because we're inside. But Dave's like, "Hey, you want some light percussion?" I'm like, "Sure." Because I hate playing by myself. I can't stand it. So anybody that comes up and wants to jam, I'm like, absolutely, let's do this. But I mean, Dave, he's been doing a lot of stuff with Max and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, man. You kill it all the time. You really do. And what I love about you too, Justin, is you open your doors, or you open your stage, I should say, to everybody.
Yeah.
I've seen how many people came up with you at Dacres the other night. So many.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like it was just one big revolving door of musicians.
Well, it was just drummers that night. That door was just drummers. Alexis Reynolds, who plays with Sound Barrier, was up there.
She was up there.
We had her come up. Obviously, Lenny was playing the gig, and then you had Lenny Jr. come up and play, and Joey played a couple. So he had, there was 4 drummers that night.
Borges saying he's looking forward to it. We also got to give a shout out to Chillin' with the Rick. I know you spent a little time with Chillin' with the Rick last week, right?
That was really the first time I met him. What a cool guy. What a neat little setup he has.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Out in the backyard.
I love that he waited until we did our interview to put it under his porch in the shade.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice.
Right. Hey, at least we caught a good day. It's been raining every day.
Yeah, I know it, right? Yeah, exactly.
At least we caught a good one.
But he had Ryan Quinn on today, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he'll be on at about 5 o'clock.
Go to Chilling with the Rick and go like his Facebook page. And what's up to Bud? How are you? Good to hear from you. If you are watching on Facebook, please click the share button. Help spread the word of what the Blue Society's doing. I think it's great what you guys are doing over there.
And the Blue Society's on Facebook, and mvblues.org is the other one. And, just people should come out. It's a $30 lifetime membership, and all that stuff goes to fund these shows.
Yeah.
A $30 lifetime membership.
Yes, but we kill people after 5 years.
I got you. Okay.
Why do you think I haven't become a member yet?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
How long has the Blue Society been in effect now?
I went to the very first meeting. I joined. Let's see. I was really drunk at the time, so it had to be like early 2000s. But no, I'm seriously. I was really drunk at the time. So
is that when we were running together?
Yeah. It was back in that era. So I do remember one thing though. The first. Want to hear a funny story?
Oh yeah.
No, it's a podcast. No one wants to hear a funny story. So it was me and it was Dave Kashuba and I think Bobby. We all were interested, so we went over to because we had Downtown Funk and Blues Band at the time, so it was probably 2004, and we go to the first meeting to everybody find out what it is at the Ramada Inn, and there's a guy there with a girl, and I don't know what he was thinking, but his girlfriend, not the girl he was with, was the waitress on the other side of the glass doors. So the shit hit the fan by the end of the night. And we were getting in my van to drive back home, and we said, wait a second, let's watch. Then it turned into, wait a second, let's make sure he doesn't
do anything stupid.
Right.
And she beat the living shit out of him.
Whoa.
She was punching him, to the point where she would stop. Somebody would get in the way. She would stop, and we all stood back. We were just watching the show. Like literally everything but the popcorn, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she did it 3 fucking times. And then finally he grabbed her by the collar and the ass and threw her right in the car. And we were like, all right, let him have that one. He didn't slug her, but he sure threw her in the car and slammed the door and ran away.
Are they still together?
I have no idea, man. Yeah. They were on Maury. They were on Springer.
Springer.
But it was the funniest thing because it was like, make sure he doesn't do anything. Oh, he got his ass beat. Oh, happened again. There it is. Third time. But so yeah, that's how the Blue Society started.
What a way to start!
Yeah, right.
It's pretty disaster.
If you were drunk, you'd be like, "Man, this is awesome."
Oh, we were cracking up.
Yeah,
because she was just slaughtering them.
Let's play some blues music and get in a fight. Yeah, it sounds great.
And it was like 10:30 after the meeting broke up. We were out in the parking lot getting ready to go, and I didn't hear this happen. So it was great.
Yeah.
Now you with the bar and with all the gigs you played, this sounds terrible, but local musicians see a lot of this. Don't you kind of sort of like it when human drama unfolds in front of you? Not bullshit drama, but when something really goes on. It's like, wow, look at this. You gonna do this right here? All right, fuck it. Let's watch.
We got stories for days.
Yeah, I bet you do.
We all do.
The only problem, I have two problems when I play, and it's always when we're on the same level as the people that we play with. And it's whenever there's a fight, for some reason, the person swings at the person and the person goes flying backwards into the band. Always. It always happens, right? Beer everywhere, this and that. And anytime that somebody, that the dance floor opens and somebody decides, you know what, I'm going to break the ice and I'm going to get out there and I'm just going to dance, right? And it's always, a Karen with the haircut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she walks up and she's doing her thing and she is legit 2 centimeters in front of me. And I'm like, there's 40 square feet of dance floor, and you are standing directly in front of me as I'm trying to sing.
With the drink in hand.
And it's going like this. And
all
it's
over
just
your
spilling all over. I'm like, oh, my God.
It's your fault. You're goddamn good looking.
Yeah,
you didn't make it that cute, No, but I know exactly what you're talking about. You know what my thing was, being the harmonica player. Everybody thinks I'm the one they can come up and talk to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the... What?
Well, he's not doing anything right now. Let's go talk to him.
Literally, like, do you guys play any Bruno Mars? Why would you think that? We're playing Pink Floyd's Animals record. This song has been 38 minutes fucking long. Why would we play Bruno Mars? How do you put 2 and 2 together to get that?
Bruno Mars and Pink Floyd don't go together?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was always
Don't get me wrong. That's cool shit.
Yeah.
But where the fuck did that thought come from?
Do you know
we just played an hour of whipping post. What the fuck makes you think we're going to play
Do you know how many times I've gotten, like, legit people go up to me and they do stuff like, hey, do you guys know any Frank Sinatra or Megadeth?
Right in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
No, man, Frank Sinatra or Megadeth.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. Okay, first of all, pick one because my brain can't handle that right now. But my God. But yeah, it's always like you say that it's because you're the harmonica player. You stand in the middle, right?
Off to the side, of course.
Kind of, yeah, but I mean, like,
I look like a passerby.
I will be singing and playing my guitar, or they'll wait for me to play a guitar solo. I'm going through ripping this guitar solo. Somebody will lean in like this and go, hey, like this, and I'm like, what? And I'm like trying to play like that, and like, yeah. Do you know any Carrie Underwood? I'm like, Carrie, no, I'm like serious, dude. And it's like female, all these female voices. I'm like, okay, Ryan can sing pretty high, but come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand how people think sometimes.
That's crazy.
But I promised myself I wasn't going to vent.
Oh no!
Whatever. You act like you've never been here before.
Yeah, that's why I promised myself.
Ask see how many times I vent. Okay.
No, I think this needs to get out in the open. People need to know you need your space.
Here's the thing, and it's not that we don't appreciate people coming out to see us play. We're not spoiled with that. I mean, we're very humbled by that.
But wait.
We're talking about the one or two people that do that. They might be so drunk that they're not thinking about it, or they just, they look at us like we're a DJ. You know what I mean?
Or the I love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
There's the fucking dudes that really are having a good time, but they're just within the area of the band. It's like, dude, look, they're 5 feet away. You can say how much you love what the other, what Jim's doing, what Bob's doing, but 5 feet away.
Can't you use COVID as an excuse? 6 feet, people. 6
feet anymore? No, COVID doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
This is all pre-COVID, so
yeah. Well, it's funny. You would expect a guy like Ryan Quinn, he was on TV and stuff, that he would have like women all over him, right? We're playing at Dacres. It was like our first real gigs with him. You know what I mean? I mean, even though he played with us Memorial Day weekend, but like our first real gigs here. You know what I mean? And we're sitting there playing, and I look over, and he is surrounded. His whole area over there on stage left.
Yeah.
Is surrounded by college-age men. Like, he is just surrounded. I mean, and they're like, yeah, man, you fucking rock, yeah. And their girlfriends, or the girls that they're trying to get with, maybe the girls thought that they were going to try and get with them, are standing back like this with a smug look on her face like, fucking Ryan Quinn. Like, you know what I mean? It's like what are they trying? Are they trying to fuck him or me? Like that one of that. You know what I mean? But that's literally what they looked like. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
That's hysterical.
That's really funny. He got automatic cool points when he first showed up and did Can't Find My Way Home.
Yeah.
Obscure-ish, classic rock tune, and killed it. Absolutely,
I agree.
And then you meet him, and he's 10 times cooler than that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
He's the most
really
down-to-earth, nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he's always smiling.
Yeah.
Kid never stops smiling.
I've never once ran into him by chance anywhere where he didn't have the time to stop and talk.
Absolutely.
And he walked around the room doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool dude.
He really is.
The other night at Harpoon Eddie's, he even smiled when he looked at me and said, I'm so tired. Like that. He was smiling. And I'm like, how are you even smiling when you're exhausted? It's like crazy.
God damn it. I just stepped on a Lego.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Quinn, man. He's definitely a gem in our community.
And actually, congratulations. He had a picture of him and his new niece today on Facebook.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm at the age now where I have to congratulate people on children and grandchildren and that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's all part of the thing.
Yeah.
As well as condolences for wakes.
Yeah.
We're falling into that area.
You're right, man. We're getting old. We're the old guys on the block now.
I know. Want to hear a funny story about that?
We've been, of course.
I'm only 40, so you guys can talk amongst yourselves, all right?
So I was doing some work at the house yesterday, and I found a fence post buried in the ground in concrete where I had to not have a fence post buried in the ground, right?
Yeah.
So there's these young guys that live across the street, and they're like cool young kids. They're all in their late teens and 20s. And I grabbed a sledgehammer from the garage, and I walked out, and they were right across the street, and I just started clobbering that piece of cement, and it was flying all over the place, and Diane was like backing up, and they just looked over like, the old man's gone off the deep end. Because it was in the ground, you know what I mean? So they couldn't see. I was like, and I was, hitting it. And they were landing, you know what I mean? So I was like, got some. You know?
Yeah, right.
They walked away. I was like, well.
Were you doing the old man Yosemite Sam?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
You know.
Because it was right about to start swearing profusely.
Oh, yeah.
Portion of any home improvement thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially at your own house. Mm-hmm. I was inventing shit by that time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had about 6 swings in me, and I had to take 12. So then I was fucking completely tired out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, you ever see like Bernie Williams or Winfield with the sledgehammer in the on-deck circle? Fuck, you can't do that for that long.
No.
Oh, my God. So I slammed it like 12 times. I got it out of there, but then it was like I was a dead man, but I was halfway through the project, so I had to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I just continually swore.
It's almost being like in a rage room or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen that's like the new trend nowadays?
Yes, I saw that,
I hear they're having problems up at Destiny with the rage room because they're quote unquote being disruptive. Well, what did you expect?
Yeah, what
What did you expect? It's a rage room. You go in, you break things, you beat the shit out of the walls, and whatever they give you, that's what you do. And now Destiny's like, oh, they're too disruptive. Why did you rent it to them then?
Probably because they didn't like put soundproofing enough in it. You know, can you imagine like if somebody's in there screaming at the top of their lungs? Oh God.
The world is our rage room.
Yeah. Right.
You know, you just do it when you're alone. You don't break stuff up because then you got to pay to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big announcement today, too, from the Stanley. Stanley announcing it's our first show. It's our first comeback. We're coming back with Alice Cooper, with Ace Frehley opening up that show. How cool is that? It's happening September 22nd. Tickets go on sale this Friday for anybody that's interested in getting those tickets. It's going to be good, and I know you're interviewing them tomorrow.
I am interviewing them tomorrow, and I'm glad you said that earlier before we started because I had kind of forgotten that. I mean, I would have got the phone thing, but it was like, I should know what to ask him. You know, funny question before we go into that. I interviewed Devin Allman a couple of weeks ago. It was the first thing I'd done, really, interview with somebody big since COVID. I didn't, like when you guys came in, we talking like this.
Yeah.
But when I had to try to interview somebody, it was like, oh, my God, you sound like an imbecile.
Sure.
I forgot how to do it. So I tightened up for the Blackberry Smoke guy. But anyways, yes, Alice Cooper, this show is blowing me away. And when they told me about it, like a week before they told us we could announce, it was like, I can't believe this is happening because they came right to us. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, Stanley, Lisa, and Linda, and the whole crew. But Alice never played there. He played the Odd way back in the day.
I felt like he played at the Odd every year.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't seem like Alice was always at the Odd.
Yeah.
For,
he's
like,
a guy that never stopped touring, and he's played the Turning Stone a lot.
Yeah.
But to see him in the Stanley, and there's even one more special thing in the works, but we can't talk about it yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be a way to earn money, like auction for the Stanley. So it's going to be really cool.
That's great. You know, it's funny because you get to interview him about playing, and if I had to interview him, I would not talk about playing. I'd talk about golf the entire time because Alice Cooper is a phenomenal golfer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He
a
really
scratch
is.
golfer. Yeah.
What's he's like 75 years old, too, right?
Yeah.
But he still plays in all those like celebrity programs and stuff and just destroys everybody on the field. It's
He
great.
does.
Yeah.
The Stanley's the perfect backdrop for
really
an Alice
is.
Cooper show.
The Stanley, it is. I hope that more stuff goes there. And, this is no offense to Turning Stone or any place else, but you got a lot of ways to pick things up and make money up there. These guys, get them through the Stanley, get them through the Landmark, let these places pick the cash back up. People are going to be throwing money at the casino. That's what you do in a casino.
Right.
But, I'm so glad to see him there. And then Ace Frehley, my first ever rock idol.
Yeah.
Like, how you
Seriously.
get a favorite band?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I was like an Ace kid.
You were the Ace guy?
I was the Ace guy, yeah. Everybody else like Gene, one person like Paul, somebody like Peter, but I was like the Ace guy, and now he's going to be in town.
Yeah.
And him, COVID or no COVID, I'm saying hello face to face to that fucking
Absolutely.
guy.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's super exciting. Same with me. Kiss was my superheroes as a kid. It's like the first band I ever remember. The Beatles and Kiss.
Yeah, and it was the exact opposite order, or the same thing with me.
Right.
I was a huge Kiss fan, and then I found Sgt. Pepper's down at Woolworths. And bought it, and then that changed everything.
What's Woolworths?
Exactly. See, now back in 2009, everything was gray and, grainy. But, so I'm really excited to see both of them because I've only seen Alice with Hollywood Vampires, and that was cool enough.
Oh, you've never seen his
Never
own?
saw him solo like this,
Oh,
no.
so you never seen him with the guillotine and all that?
No. And then, the new album, Detroit Stories, we were talking about it earlier. The Go Man Go is the first song we're playing. and it's cool. But we're gonna add a few more. And you pointed out that like Bonamassa's on a tune,
Yeah.
and Seeger's on a tune.
Larry Mullins Jr. from U2's on a tune.
Yeah.
Wayne Kramer
from the MC5. Yeah,
he's on it. So he pays homage to Detroit in his latest album. It's really cool. He covers a Seeger song. He covers there's like a Motown song on there. It's just because he's from Detroit. And
Sure.
so
it pays homage to Detroit. When you're done with it, it burns.
Yeah.
Right.
CD self-destruct.
When you get him on, talk about Bonamassa for a second, and you need to make this plea that Alice needs to make this statement that there should be a statue or a street named after Bonamassa in our area. If Alice can start that, I think we can make this happen.
I think it should happen.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Starr was pushing and pushing and pushing to get Joe into town, and you know they said we'll name the block be in front of the Stanley Bonamassa, but it just couldn't come together. You know,
we'll make that happen eventually down the road, and you know channels have been opened in that avenue. But
I've always said how amazing it was to me that kid, he can't walk down the street in London without being accosted by somebody because he's that big over there.
Yeah.
But he can walk down the street in the middle of downtown Utica and you know we'll know who he is, but the normal everyday person will have no idea who he is. And,
and we're especially since me, I've got like 6 of his songs in regular rotation.
Good.
Yeah. It's brilliant stuff.
It really is.
But I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's a little bit. I do know what happened, and I'm going to tell you.
All right.
It's what do they call that term? Schadenfreude or something, where you want to see somebody do good, but if they do too good, you're like fucking angry at them for it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, I think, back in the day with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was stupid because, you know, like his dad could walk through Price Chopper and say, I don't feel like buying oranges today, and walk on. And the guy who was stacking the oranges will go, fucking Joe Bonamassa, fucking asshole. His father don't like oranges. And you know what I mean? That's how people reacted, and it's bullshit.
It is.
Although, Joe, sorry, when you were 12, we set up a remote for you to play at the Blue Sox game, the national anthem, and the fucking cord didn't work, but get over it. I'm going to say that too. You know, he was angry about that for years.
Was he really?
His father got mad. He was like, "Oh man, I think that you know, what were they breaking balls?" It's like, no, it was a fucking extension cord that didn't work. Nobody fucking knew.
Right.
You know. So there. Now I've straightened that out.
I'm glad you settled that.
I settled that whole thing.
Do you play any of the Black Country Communion on the drive?
No, because I wasn't running the show when it came out.
Ah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, there's some of that stuff I missed a boat on, and it was too hard to go back and get.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. That was what a band.
What an album.
What an album. That
they
first
did 2,
album,
right? They did 2.
They did 3 or 4.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. And they're still. I mean, they still get back together, and they did the whole first album in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they went out and did it in 2 weeks. So you got Derek Sheranian on the keyboards, Jason Bonham on drums, Glenn Hughes from Sabbath and Deep Purple and all that stuff on bass and lead vocals, and then Joe. And it was just a quartet of amazing rockness.
It was a monster.
Oh my God, what a monster!
It's got that vintage '70s sound.
Totally in the heavy stuff. Yeah.
You know, I remember when the first one came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't even at the drive, and there was no way anybody over there was going to play that.
Right.
But I remember hearing it and going, "Holy shit, this is like complete throwback."
Yeah.
You know. I think that whatever the guy plays, he touches, it's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
This whole thing, I think, was a hey, because to the all the media, they were all like, oh, Joe Bonamassa is only a blues guitar player. He can't play anything else.
No.
And I think that's why he did this
the
project.
From the truth.
Was because he was like, hey, you know what? I'm a blues guitar player, but check this out. You know what I mean?
Look at that acoustic thing he did from what was it, the Venice Opera House? Mm-hmm. Holy shit!
Yeah, I like the album with Beth Hart too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that was bluesy.
Yeah,
you know, that was pretty bluesy. But still, I mean, what the guy's putting out, he puts out an album a year. I feel like
more than that.
You know what's even amazing is you watch like America's Got Talent or one of those, and like some 12-year-old to go out and be playing like ripping the guitar, and they said to him, "Who are your influences?" Oh, Joe Bonamassa. So he's reached that point.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think people around here honestly have come around. Mm-hmm. You know, and I constant exposure has helped them from us. Mm-hmm. Or not helped him, helped them, you know.
Right.
Get that local bug out of their ass.
I'll tell you, when
people in the local area, I love them, but man, people get a bug up their ass around here. Forget about it.
It's a finicky crowd sometimes.
I'm just as guilty. Don't get me wrong.
When I had the club, and this is what made me realize like what a monster Joe Bonamassa is. When Psychedelic Breakfast first played the Electric Company, Tim Palmieri, who was a guitar god himself, who just landed a great gig with Lotus. But anyways, Tim comes walking in. Yeah, he come walking into the club. He's like, I can't believe I'm in the home of Joe Bonamassa. And this is like, he was all freaked out about it. Like, that's his idol. And I was like so blown away. Like, what did you just say? In fact, Adrian had a Joe Bonamassa sticker on his drum head.
No shit.
That's how much of a Joe Bonamassa head they were, and they were just so blown away. And I mean, Palmieri and Adrian's an amazing drummer, but Palmieri's a guitar god.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's so funny how musicians, we all are like that. You know, you get into some place that's like the holy grail of something, and you just sit there and you stare, and you feel that energy, and you can't like. I love it. I absolutely love going places that famous people have been. You know,
that's great. You know, I still get that every time I go on stage down at the Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
you know,
I'm the same.
When I've gone to different places, like the Warfield out in San Francisco and some of those places, like, wow, you really can feel it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
the place that I got to perform at Carnegie Hall. And,
shit.
Be out on that stage, that was unbelievable. Oh. But I was the only rock guy there. Everybody else, because I was down there with the All Eastern Chorus when I was in high school, and I was the only person that was into rock music there, which sucked for me because I had nobody else to talk to. But I walked around that stage and just. That's all I could think of. I couldn't think of how many orchestras or choruses have performed there. I was thinking about Stevie Ray Vaughan, Billy Joel. Like I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my God!" Like just like it, and you feel the energy. You know what I mean?
You can feel it, man. That stuff stays with those places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of these days, next time I get down to the city, I want to go to like the Bank or the Gap or whatever it is in the space of the old Fillmore East.
Yep.
Because I've heard that too. People say you still walk in there and you can just feel it. You can just feel it,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Two things I want to talk to you about. One, The Summer of Soul, which you brought up earlier.
Yeah.
What a fantastic documentary. Justin, have you seen it yet?
I have not.
You got to see it. So what the basis of this documentary is, back in 1969, before, like a couple months before Woodstock, there was this huge festival in Harlem that we never even knew about.
Harlem.
Did you ever know
Festival.
about it?
Never heard.
Never heard about it either. And so Sly and the Family Stone was there. Stevie Wonder was there. The Fifth Dimension was there.
The Fifth Dimension.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Me too.
They were doing that live. Let the Sunshine In.
Yeah.
And then the song they played before that, they played a clip of a tune. But then Stevie Wonder too,
playing the drums
like crazy.
Oh yeah, Stevie. Yeah,
I had no idea he played the drums. It's like the opening credits, pretty much. Is Stevie Wonder playing the drums.
Most of his albums that he played drums on. He played just about every instrument on most of his albums.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the music in it was insane.
Insane.
They played, like, they showed the Chambers Brothers, but they actually showed a different song besides Time. Mm-hmm. That one, like, that they did. And everything was so good.
Yeah.
And such a cool thing, because the video wasn't, like, old and beat up. It was, like, remastered and bright and vibrant.
And they did this in Harlem?
They did it in Harlem.
It was a Harlem Culture Festival.
Yeah.
Wow. They called it the Black Woodstock later on.
And how many people were there? Did they say?
Oh, my God.
50, 60,000.
Oh, wow,
It was huge, if not more.
Yeah, I think it was over 100,000.
Was it?
And it was the same thing as Woodstock. There was no problem. There's none of that stuff. And the interviewer, or not the interviewer, but the host of the whole thing, was a guy, they were like, he was a real, like, P.T. Barnum type, and he promoted, and he would promise this guy that and this guy that. And it's like, yeah, but he came through on all of it.
Through on everything.
And he had a different outfit for every introduction.
Yeah.
Like straight up badass 60s, like colorful, fluffy ruffles. It was like the guy was great, man. I loved everything he did, you know?
And the thing about this whole documentary is this footage was in somebody's basement for 50 years. Nobody even knew about it, and somebody got their hands on it and gave it over to Questlove.
Wow.
And Quest is the producer of this documentary.
That's so cool.
And he went through all the footage, and it's an amazing documentary. You can watch it up on Hulu, and I'm sure you could probably find it on YouTube or wherever.
And they do a lot of they intersperse with a lot of cool stuff. People that were there, guys who played there, so you get that aspect. And they bring a lot of, like, the history and what was going on in society in 1969 into it. So it was really well done. I do like the one guy, who I think he was one of the percussionists in a different band, like one of the earlier bands. But he was like, we're all waiting for Sly, but you never knew what was going to happen with Sly. Would he come out with the band? Would he come out at his own time? What Sly was going to show up there? But they came out, and Sly and the Family Stone were off the hook.
Oh, yeah.
If I could go back in time, that would be one of the bands I would love to see in its heyday.
Yeah.
Poof. Ripping. Yeah, some really good stuff. And since we're talking about Woodstock 99, they're doing a big documentary, not only on HBO. I know there's another documentary, too, coming out about why. I don't know what the obsession is with Woodstock 99 is lately, but what are some of your memories from Woodstock 99?
Well, the first thing is I don't know if it was the HBO documentary or the other one. I didn't realize there was two.
Well, there's one being produced right now.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about that, but
all right.
we'll talk off.
Because somebody got in touch with me over a year ago. Or it was probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago, little over a year ago. And it was this producer who was putting this together. It was one of the people who worked for him and said, do you have anything from it? Well, I had mini discs with actualities like the announcement that it was coming and the sheriff was on the phone with somebody and then the actual press conference.
Yeah.
I had the whole press conference on mini discs.
Wow.
And the funny thing is the mini discs had some of my own personal stuff on there too. Like phone calls and shit we used to do overnight.
Yeah.
It was right after we switched from reel to reel.
I still have my mini disc, too.
So I had those sitting around all these years in a box in the attic. They moved from one place to the next. I still had them. And I had the mini disc player because after OUR moved out of the Mayro building and went to Washington Mills, there was a bunch of shit in the other room. And Dave Dowdy was saying, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Who the fuck wants any of this crap anymore? So I got like the original shelving for the CDs. That's still hanging in my house. Yeah. Remember there was those two racks of CDs? I got one side of that up there.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you're throwing out like the mini disc player? He goes, that fucking format's done. Nobody cares about that shit anymore. I was like, okay, I'll take that too. So I had the player sitting up there all this time.
Wow.
And everything worked. So I just recorded it and turned it into files and emailed them to her, and she was going nuts. She was like, I can't believe this stuff. I can't believe you got all this stuff. So I don't know, though, if that's the one you're seeing the trailer for now.
What's the girl's name?
I don't remember. Cecilia.
Okay, that's not the same girl.
Okay, so there you go. Maybe it is this one.
Did you write back in the email, finder's fee, question mark?
Yeah,
I'm not smart enough. Fuck, I forgot to.
What are some of your memories from Woodstock 99? Because you were up there pretty much all weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many memories.
Boobs, boobs, boobs.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Put your goddamn wiener away, mister. Fuck, you know what? The first night we walked in and George Clinton was playing. It was like unannounced. It was in the hangar. And I guess I missed John Entwistle's band that night, but God, I got to see James Brown from real close.
Wow.
I mean, I walked up because remember he started, and I never realized it, but man, they play for like 15 minutes to intro James Brown.
Yeah,
or at least it seemed that way. They played everybody.
Sure.
They had 900 guys out there. None of them were James Brown. And finally, he came out, and it just ramped up like to the next level.
Yeah.
But that was amazing. I saw Rusted Root without intending to for like the 15th time.
Yeah, right.
Because they were everywhere at that time. God, there was a lot of cool stuff that went around. I remember we went into this. It was like a little theater building, but it was really just like a small hangar or garage. But they were showing movies, and it was Ray Liotta doing a short about a Johnny Cash interview.
Wow.
And since then, I found it. And then Johnny gets drunk, and he's showing the guy bullets and shit. It was all whacked out. But I remember watching it, and then falling asleep and waking up hours later because it was cool in there.
Yeah.
And it was a cement floor. And I just crashed in there for like who knows how long. And other than that, just doing the shifts in like the Avenged Sevenfold.
Yep.
Isn't that the band he's got? There's a black guy that's a singer.
No, it's Seven Dust.
Seven Dust. Yeah. So Avenged Sevenfold had nothing to do with this story.
No, they didn't. I don't even think they were a band yet.
Yeah. We'll edit this part. We'll edit that one. No, the Seven Dust guy, and I felt funny because we didn't play that stuff. K-Rock did. Yeah. But he came over and sat down with us, and it was like, whoa, a little bit of shade, and he was cool.
LeJean's really cool, man.
Like just one of our buddies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool
and then I felt kind of funny because it was like, play your songs. Because of him. I pointed at the other guy.
Yeah.
But, and then being real tired and real hot, pulling out just as, like, the shit was hitting the fan. And I only lived in Marcy. At that time, I lived on Chaminade Road in Marcy. So I drove from the base down Old River Road, got home, and it was like, look at the TV. The place was on fire. The shit blew up right then and there.
Yep.
So it was crazy, but
that was when the Chili Peppers. But well, most of us happened when the Chili Peppers were playing Fire, right?
yeah, exactly. Yep.
That was the fastest version of Jimi Hendrix's Fire I've ever heard in my life. If you, I mean, you hear it, and it's
God,
like,
yeah.
da, 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 da. It's like, what are they doing? Oh my God, everybody's like cocaine. It's crazy. Yeah,
The energy in that place at that time was nuts.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But so that's, I mean, I had an okay time. It was hot. It was shitty. People were fucked up and were stupid.
Yeah.
yeah.
But other than that, it was okay.
Justin, did you go?
No,
No, either.
no.
did
We
I.
were supposed to play, but I think that Tim Moore put the kibosh on that. So it was like
That's when it was competitive, Tim.
I'm Gridley Page is opening Woodstock. Okay. All you other guys can stay home.
You know,
No, that's not what really happened. What really happened, it was just a scheduling error, and we were supposed to play, and then we didn't get to play, but no, it was fine. But seeing Tim and those guys up on that big stage was just so cool to see it, really. And he still has that picture hanging like in a whatever you call.
Yeah.
And you still see like he was on the big stage.
because some
so
people
cool.
got on the big stage and others were on like stages for people in line.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to admit it. I'm going to apologize, too. I can be an asshole like anybody else. A lot of guys, like, years later, be like, we played Woodstock 99. I'd be like, outside.
Yeah.
You played outside.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
You on Floyd Road, man. I know where you were.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, man.
I missed Woodstock. Actually, that was my summer of love, and went on the road with some girl, and we were.
Yeah.
I remember being in Alpine Valley, Wisconsin.
Is this a documentary in the making right now?
Maybe.
Right,
And
anyway.
I was in Alpine Valley, Wisconsin, and I remember calling my boss at the time, which was a buddy of mine, like, I'm not coming in type of thing.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, you have no idea what's going on at Woodstock right now. The place is on fire and so on and so forth. But I had gotten fired. Well, I didn't get fired, actually. I'm sorry. I think that was the other radio station. But I quit WOUR because I was giving away Woodstock 99 tickets, and I was having fun on the radio with these callers, pretending caller number 7 was supposed to be caller number 8 or whatever. And the program director at the time,
And a stick up his ass.
he was a freaking
I
idiot.
like that guy.
Yeah, I didn't, and that's why I walked. And
Yeah.
so he called me up and reamed me out. Like, we're not the other guys, and you don't pull pranks like that on our radio station. We're a heritage radio station. That's not what we do here. We're WOUR, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what, pal? Go fuck
I
yourself. Don't yell at me like that.
Yeah.
This bit was absolutely hilarious.
But
My phone lines blew up. Like,
Yep.
dude, that was great, man. That was great. Like, all my friends were listening and shit. They thought it was an awesome
Yeah.
bit.
It was the
And
same
then-
guy who talked about heritage and shoveled everybody out the door. It was a replacement
Right.
for Tom.
Exactly.
What are you
Exactly.
talking about?
So yeah.
So, yeah, so
I didn't
he
like that
pissed
guy.
me off
But
a
I
lot,
hope he
too.
watches this. I'm right there. Pal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. You want to get into nitty gritty?
Yeah.
It's the same guy who now the band had played the Rainforest Preserve. Rick Danko used to play down at Nardi's. Those fucking guys had a connection to the area.
Yeah.
Fucking Danko dies, and I said, I'm going to play the weight. He goes, we don't play the band here. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind?
What?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We don't play the band?
Yeah.
Who doesn't play the band?
when the guy dies.
Especially, but like, I mean,
You're a classic rock station.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Well, you know, he was one of those guys, and we know a lot of them in the
He was just
business.
a
I'll
puppet
put it
puppet.
down.
by the
Yeah,
business and
and
music industry.
unfortunately for him, poor guy got fucked royally. Like 6 or 7 guys I knew that didn't really deserve it because they always did what they were asked to the letter.
Yeah.
But when Johnny fucking administration guy needed his extra 100 fucking grand a year, they all took it up the ass. You know?
Yeah. That was the problem.
I mean, because
too.
I got along with that guy too. You know what I mean? Like I was a bit of a problem employee, and he let me slide on a lot of things.
I
Yeah.
definitely was, and I had enough with his attitude towards me. So I was like, I gotta go.
Do you feel like though that was like stepping stone shit because you were destined for other stuff? Like
Of course. I mean,
the
the
club
way-
was legendary. If you had kept in radio, I'm painting fucking houses. You know what I mean? I'm doing handyman stuff. You never would have done any of that though.
That's
you know?
probably true. I don't know. Who knows? You never know. But yes, was my path, and that's how it led me into the EC and all that. But yeah.
And he's right. That club was legendary. I mean, it's up there. I mean, people talk about old clubs back in the day. They talk about Milo's. They talk about
4 acres.
4 acres, and then they talk like you see you guys in the Rainforest Preserve. I like to say was like the last of the real clubs.
It truly was
before everything switched over to like corporate-y type looking bars and restaurants. And you know what I mean. So you had the EC and you had the Rainforest Preserve. When they went, it was, you know, like even you look at what went in there after. I mean, you know, all the bars that went in there after were like very corporate-y looking. You know what I mean? Everything was perfect and everything. Like you walked into CBGB's back in New York City. I mean, the bathroom, you didn't want to touch anything in there. It was fucking gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was CBGB's, right? But that was the thing. It was just so fucking legendary. That was like, I know. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead before you forget.
No, there was this thing on the wall in the girls' room that said Genesee Joe has a big dick.
And I wrote it.
And he wrote it.
But I was too afraid.
That's fucking legendary.
I put my phone number down, but I was actually too afraid to put the last number down. I didn't want nobody to read underneath. Go, I'm not sure about that.
You skipped the last number, but then
I chickened out.
There's
Some
only
girl
10
was
numbers to
walking
guess, though.
And I didn't find that out till years later when we were doing one of these podcasts.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, do you remember in the girls' bathroom? Because I wrote that." You knew I was going to say that?
Oh, God, yeah, I love that. I want to come over and hug you, man. That's one of our moments.
That's one of our
But I guess
moments.
the only thing I had to say after that was also the only clubs that put the musicians first. You know, it was always about the musicians that came in. You guys always had like an area for us to chill and hang out. We could come early and we could set up as early as we wanted to. We could sound check and then we could chill. It was like, you know, there's no place like that anymore. You know.
I don't think that the amount of bands out there doing their thing on that like mini touring level is the same either, because you guys had Mecca Bodega, you had Deep Banana Blackout, and the Breakfast, and there was a huge scene of that type, and then you had all your tribute bands that would come in, and then you had little locals, so there was a lot to book.
Sure.
And I don't quite think it's like that anymore.
It's definitely not.
But I think that you're right, too, because every place became more corporate-y and, and all those fucking hippies got old and they don't do that anymore.
Right.
They got old for sure.
I don't know. I just hope that it all comes back. Like, the 70s style and everything came back. The music came back. And then the 80s came back. And, I feel like that, like, I don't know. I'm hoping like in the next 10 years or so that like something like that goes back in where people just want to hear bands and they want to like.
I'm thinking like rock and roll. We're on the outside looking in nowadays, right? Because there's all this other stuff going on. But right now, like the rock and roll, the Pirates again. If you think about it, like back in the day, it was like that too. It was like all the taboo music. Don't listen to that. But, it will always be here to stay.
And you know what I'm finding is, I think, a good sign. I'm seeing more and more young kids playing instruments and posting videos on Facebook and actually forming bands.
Yeah.
Like, You're Not Robots that were in here.
Great band.
Yeah. Then there's the one-man band, those kids. And then, Copper Vein clones are on the younger side. So there are these younger bands, and you're seeing a little bit more of it. Yep. Guys that want to learn to play instruments and then go do it.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I hope that that's the beginning of something where it's going to be a big switch in the way things are now.
I did too. I mean, I think guys like David Grohl, like the Foo Fighters and stuff. I mean, that's like straight ahead rock and roll. You know what I mean? It might be like poppy rock and roll, but it's still rock and roll. But it's not Lady Gaga and Billie Eilish or whoever that fucking bitch is. It's fucking rock. You know what I mean? But as long as David Grohl's out there, you know what I mean, and guys like that are out there, putting out rock music, I think that the kids will have something to latch onto.
Did you see that Bee Gees thing that he just did?
No.
It just got released today. You're going to love it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's Bee Gees covers by the Foo Fighters.
Come on.
The DGs.
Oh,
the
wow,
DGs,
the DGs.
Yeah.
That just came out today?
Yeah.
Oh,
but you know what? I'm going to say something else, too. It's like, I went up to Bob Ox, and I recorded something for this guy Steve's album. Just a little teeny bit of harmonica for one of his things. But that's another thing. If you're younger, even though you can make your own beats and play over the top of it and do all that shit in your bedroom now, because the technology is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean that's all you should do.
Right.
Stop with that shit. Go find 3 other guys, start playing. One of them's going to steal something or one of them's going to quit. You know what I mean? Deal with all the crap.
Yeah.
Deal with all the personality bullshit. And find out that you end up having some great friends that you're friends with for years and years and years. I mean, look at me and the Slug guys. Me, Bobby, and Fletch have been best friends now for 25 years almost.
Yeah, man.
I started playing with Fletch before that. You know what I mean? And deal with all that stuff and do it. Don't, do these things and put out videos on whatever forum you use. Fucking learn to play and go play in front of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't stop halfway just because technology allows you to. Go do the other part. Do the organic part, too.
I think you're going to see a lot of great musicians coming up nowadays with these kids just because there's so many avenues that they can learn how to play. You could go on YouTube and learn how to play a song. Or we never had any of that. We had sheet music. Do you know how to read sheet music?
Yeah.
Tablet. Well, you read tablet or whatever. Justin's like, yeah, I read sheet music. But no, you have like tablet or stuff like that.
Guys like
but
him,
now you could just go and watch a Twitch streamer, go watch YouTube and learn how to play these songs.
There's a lot less of people that do, honestly, I can read sheet music, not you can't put sheet music in front of me and I'll read it and play guitar, but I know what the notes are. But I did everything by ear, and you did everything by ear, and you did everything by ear. And there's a lot of kids that can't do that because all they care about, they're like, you know what? I could spend an hour trying to learn this note for note from the record, or I can go on YouTube and somebody can show me exactly how to do it, which doesn't train your ear to do anything.
That's true.
So nobody's playing by ear anymore.
I play everything by ear, and luckily I'm so fucking old I've heard it all.
Do you have tinnitus?
Oh, God, yeah.
Me too.
My right ear rings like a son of a bitch all the time.
Just
Do you have to have something on at night so you can sleep?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, my God, I hope my girlfriend's watching. I'm not the only one. She's like,
oh, yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
Like a fan or a TV or something needs to be on, or I can't
sound
sleep.
at all times.
Yep.
There's got to be something in the room because otherwise it drives me crazy.
I'm up all night. You too? You'll be up all night if it's completely quiet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't jerk off enough to go to sleep.
So
put you back to sleep.
What's up with the drive? How's the drive going? Dude, first of all, and I tell you this every time you're on this show, you're doing a fantastic job programming that station. You really are. You're doing things that no other radio station in this market is doing whatsoever. Hands down, it's pretty much the only station I listen to when I do listen to the radio.
You got to regress to progress sometimes. It's right in front of us what's going wrong with the radio. And what's going on with all the streaming services. It's right there. You're seeing what people are leaving and what they're going to.
Yeah.
It don't get much more Italian than this. So anyway, you fucking change it.
Right.
Except for the fact that we're an independent, so we're changing it on a $30,000 budget and not a $3 million budget. The radio could be fucking spectacular. There's so much money bouncing around it now. And then these corporations are doing digital ads. You guys can pay people, but they won't do it. So now they're just wasting away, and we don't know what's going on. We don't understand it. And the drive is fucking trying to do it like we used to. I literally get stopped by people walking down the street and go, I can't believe it. I'm listening to the radio all the time anymore.
Yeah.
It's good to touch people's lives like that.
Sure, like you used to.
Yeah, and it's not just, I try to go on classic but not stale.
Right.
So you're going to play Sweet Home Alabama, obviously.
You have to.
You're going to play Breakdown. They're classics for a reason. Fucking Freebird and Stairway to Heaven and Whipping Post are classics for a reason.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Come into those songs just in the middle of them sometime and listen. You go, holy shit, what is this? But, let's talk about Skinner. Going to do that, then we're going to do Working for MCA, maybe. And I make no bones about, like, all right, we're going to play, Jack and Diane, but I threw that one on. I wanted to hear Valley of the Thunder and Hearts.
Yes.
And people go, oh, fucking cool. And around here, especially stuff like Genesis.
Huge.
And you go right on Facebook and ask. They go, we need money for research. No, we got a Facebook page. What era of Genesis do you like better? Peter Gabriel, early Phil Collins, or anything post-1982?
Yeah.
And they tell you.
Sure.
And you don't think that they're bullshitting you or making it up. You take for granted that they told you what they actually think because they did. And you use that as a tool. You know what I mean?
I love hearing songs by these artists that I've never heard before because, myself, I grew up listening to OUR because that's all we had if we wanted the good music.
Me
you know what I
too.
mean? So, and
you were listening to him.
Yeah, I was. But you started like
92. I started
92. So I was already, I was already playing. That was 2 years before I started playing out, but I
remember when they first came out. I remember when Showtime first came out.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, look how cute.
Yeah, we were.
I think that.
I was 13 when it was Joe Jose and I was 13 when we played, and we had.
I asked you to get in my van.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Did I just say
Hey,
that?
kid,
Wow.
hey, kid, get in my van. I got gigs.
Yeah, right.
I got gigs.
Oh, Bandic is chiming in now.
Yeah,
Bandic's
oh, yeah,
chiming
yeah.
in any minute now. I'm sorry. So
No,
go
that's
ahead.
right. But it's funny because like I'll be listening, like you said, you got to play the classics. But then I heard a Gabriel song that I knew it was him because you know his voice, right?
Yes.
You know his voice, you know it's him. And I was driving, so I had my Bluetooth like hooked up for my phone, so I couldn't like say who is this, you know what I mean? And the freaking radio thing wouldn't work to tell me who it was or what
That's
the song
us,
was.
yeah.
So what I did is I went home and I subscribed to Apple Music. You know, for when I can't get to drive, I can at least listen to good music. And I went through every fucking Gabriel album until I found the song.
What was it? I don't remember.
And Through the Wire.
And Through the Wire. Oh,
What
shit,
a fucking
man.
great song.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my God. And I was like, man, this is great.
You know what? You know what? I got trained by the best.
One more after that. Okay.
I got trained by the best guys.
You did.
And Jerry is still good as a sounding board because I could say, what about this? What about that? And if I'm feeling like something might have gone too far, a lot of times he'll text me like, wow, bring it back to the shore. And so he's always a good, barometer to go on. And Tom taught me a lot of stuff. But
Sure.
the one thing I think that I got is more of an edge is that I'm also programming from a guy who was listening when the golden age of that station with all those guys was starting. Because I remember stuff they don't remember because, they had a radio station to run. But I was sitting there listening. So, I know that we played And Through the Wire. I know that we played I Go Swimming. And if it's 90 fucking degrees out, you cannot play Red Rain. You could play I Go Swimming because it seems to relate. This is all the most simplest shit in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And all these other stations around here, and buddies of mine that are program directors and on that are on Facebook are like, oh, you're going rogue. It's like, no, it's fucking common sense. I don't even know if it would work somewhere else.
No.
Right.
But it's all right in front of you. You know?
The other
What's the
day,
other one?
the other day. Now, okay, ready, Z? What album was Jump by Van Halen? What album was that?
1984.
Exactly. The other day, I'm listening to The Drive, and I hear this cool, like, Oberheim synth thing going on, and I'm like, that sounds like, it's the way, like, because I learned everything by ear, the way that the chords were structured in this, I knew it was Eddie playing because that's how he played chords on the keyboard. It was just, you knew it was him playing. And I'm like, that is so fucking cool. And it's like it's the Oberheims, the same thing they use for Jump, And I'm like, that's really fucking cool. And then he hits this one note, it was only like a minute long. And all of a sudden you hear, ba, ba, ba.
Just the way it was on the record.
But on the record, the record starts out with 1984. It's a minute long Oberheim piece, and right in the beginning, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So Carl Goodines, who we play with, who used to be in 805, I told him about it, and he's already halfway through learning the whole thing. He's going to learn the whole thing, and that's how we're going to do Jump from now on.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Cool.
That's just what I was saying. Thank you, though, by the way, for saying that.
Yeah,
I really
awesome.
wonder if this stuff works. So thanks.
Yeah.
But that's what I was talking about. Saying it from like kind of a listener point of view from back in the day. When 1984 album came out, people brought it home, put it on, and the first thing they heard was keyboards, and it was, what the fuck is keyboards doing? And then they were like,
They
oh,
lost their
it's
mind.
Eddie playing it.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Right.
So every once in a while, play that minute-long piece.
It's only a minute long, and I don't know why that never. It's the perfect introduction to that song.
Yeah.
It really
Don't
brings
do
it in
it
because
every time.
Right.
But once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what else I
Great
found?
way to start a set.
Thank you. You know what else I found was actually he was talking about himself right there, and I thanked him. But anyways,
It's all because you played it, though. You know.
The other thing I found is like the little intro to American Woman by the Guess Who.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got it, but I can just plug it in and play it before it once in a while. Tom Petty had that album where before even the Losers, the girl's voice goes, it's just the normal noises in here. And there's like 10 little examples like that.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of that shit. And once in a while, Neil Young, when I get big, I'm going to play an electric guitar. When I get real big, and he plays Hey, My acoustic.
Yeah.
They were on the record that way, so plug them in like that once in a while. Have fucking fun.
Yeah. You would never be able to do that on a
how about
corporate
that?
station now. You'd never be able to do that.
No.
Yeah, you have fun in the studio, and people driving down the road hear that shit, and they have fun in their car or in their kitchen or in their house. Hey, guess what? We're all having fun.
These corporate radio stations play the top 500 in their playlist, and that's how that's done.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If it's 500, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them are 350.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, you get that with Sirius Radio too. I mean, you put on deep tracks, or you put on any of those, okay?
But it's
the same ones over and over and over
again.
Once they get to the end of the program,
You can set
it
your
starts
watch to
over
it.
again. You set your watch to it.
Here's how crazy it was. Clear Channel, when they owned us, bought into XM Radio and literally played commercials for XM Radio on their radio stations that said, if you don't like commercials like these, buy XM Radio and you won't have to listen to them. It ain't verbatim, but it's exactly what it said.
Yeah.
While the clients that they also sold fucking spots to were on.
Yeah.
It's like, now what's wrong with radio? You tell me.
Right, right.
That's what's wrong with it. People running it haven't known how to do it in 20 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's why
crazy.
I can't listen to OUR anymore, because it's like, okay, if we're going to play Rush, we're going to play Tom Sawyer. That's it.
Yeah.
If we're going to play Genesis, we might throw some people for a loop and play I Can't Dance.
Well, you know
I mean,
what?
come on. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You know?
And that's the same shit that was on 8-9 years ago when I was there.
Right.
And here's the deal with Genesis. People bought more copies of the 80s stuff and that kind of stuff. But every time it was like, no, this sounds like the old stuff. So if you could track number of plays for each CD, they bought more copies of that, but they didn't play it as much because it was always like, oh, this sounds like the old stuff. And they don't see that. And I make fun of corporations and bitch about them, but I'm not making fun of the guys over there.
Right.
They would play something else,
Yeah,
but they
for
can't.
sure.
They're
They
fucking
can't.
fired. How you going to do that?
Speaking of spinning, you were talking Van Halen. Are you guys spinning a new Wolfgang Van Halen at all?
You know what?
Have you listened to any of that?
I dropped the ball on that because I just...
You didn't drop the ball. It just came out.
Yeah, I got to pay attention to that because we're playing Blackberry
incredible.
Smoke. We're playing, those newer bands.
Yeah. It's incredible, man.
He's lighting it up. That dude is
I got to pay
killing it.
attention to that because you know what?
That whole album, top to bottom, is killer.
People my age, we really like to see somebody's kid doing well.
Right.
That's why the Allman Betts band was doing great because they gave it a chance because of who it was.
Yeah, last night seeing Derek and Susan too, Tedeschi Trucks. That was incredible. And I know you guys are spinning.
Where were they? At Apple Park?
Yeah, they were there all weekend.
Oh, wow.
They were there all weekend.
You got to hang with them?
What was the format
They're like
they
family
used?
to me, man.
So
Their
awesome.
tormentor's just a great friend of mine.
Wow.
What was the format? Was it like 3 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them?
Say again?
How many people were there playing? Because I know they...
They stripped down. There was no horn section.
Oh, no shit.
wow.
No, but so they had keys and they had Mike also on the vocals too with Susan. They're
What a
awesome.
singer that guy
that
is.
guy's amazing too. And of course the regular band, but just no horn section.
You know what?
They stripped down because of the cost and whatnot. You know.
You got to recoup what you lost over the last 18 months for everybody. They're one of the bands, though, that I don't think their management's doing them or doing me any favors, I should say. Because Allman Betts, Blackberry Smoke, some of these ones I got with them and said, hey, can I get a drop from them? 'Cause you can do a drop just by calling a phone number and leaving it. You get a digital copy. But Tedeschi Trucks Band, I can't get them to get back to me at all.
No, really.
wow.
But it's somebody in like management office that is
Sure.
like being a little more uppity than the artist would be.
Right, yeah.
So drop a line.
Well, you know
for me.
what? What's coming up soon? Tedeschi Trucks, right? What they're releasing, they did the entire
Layla album.
the entire Layla album.
Wow.
I've heard
the
why does
entire
love got to
Derek
be
and
so
Tom-
sad off
Yes.
of that? It's sick.
Oh my God! I mean, from front to back, they
With
did the
Trey.
entire with Trey and
With Trey
Sargent,
on it?
yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you, and that's what I was saying last night too. Derek Trucks is right up there with Trey and Jerry and all those great guitar legends. I mean, he was in the Allman Brothers for when he was 18
14
years old.
years.
14 years old. Yeah.
Like he started when he was 18, right? Right?
Well,
Or even
Derek
sooner
was
than that.
younger than that.
Derek,
but
I thought Derek was like 14 or 15 when
He could have been.
when he
was
first
started
started
playing
popping
with
up,
him.
but when he joined as a full-time member, he was in his 20s.
Oh,
by then.
sure, yeah.
Right.
But
Like,
yeah,
you still look at him as like a kid
he's
too.
Dwayne reincarnate. That guy.
Uh-huh.
His
Yes, he
slides,
is.
his slides are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know? And then she's kicking ass too. She solos her ass off. She's like they're 2 bona fide guitar players.
She rips on guitar.
Yeah.
She does. She's awesome. I love Susan.
Yeah.
I
She's
absolutely
pretty
love her.
too.
She's fun. A lot of fun. Tedeschi Trucks, great show. Go check them out if you guys haven't seen them or heard of them. It's a very spiritual show.
Oh,
I don't know.
sure.
At least that's how I felt because they had all these people in the rain last night, and people stayed in the rain. No matter how hard it was raining, they were still up there playing, and people were still out there dancing.
One of the best sit-ins I ever saw was because sit-ins can be like good or they can not be good.
Right.
Sure.
When Al Schneer went out and played with them at the state fair that night, it was like it's like they knew each other or whatever, but
they know
they
each other?
played each other. He played very well with them.
Yeah.
You know, and like I saw Rick Derringer sitting with Marshall Tucker one day, and you would have thought that would have ripped, but it was like just laid there.
And then like 3 days later after that, Derek Trucks sit in with Al. or Al sitting with their trucks. Remember the Hanson brothers?
Yes.
Hanson brothers had Zach Myers from Shinedown come in, and they tried to do AC/DC Back in Black, and I put try to do it.
Yeah.
I emphasized try.
Yeah.
It was like, you should probably cut that.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite sit-ins of all time, believe it or not, was the Dave Matthews Band when they played at Central Park. Warren Haynes got up and sat with them.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best sit-ins I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he just ripped for like 3 or 4 songs, like just ripped.
I think that's when they reintroduced the song Cortez the Killer.
Cortez
to
the
an
Killer,
entire
yeah.
new bunch of people. That's
Yes.
another one. The Drive will play that once in a while.
Yep.
Because, the Neil Young album, Live Rust, was a platinum record, but a whole stock of younger guys know that because Dave Matthews did it a lot.
Right. Yep.
But that version with Warren.
Oh, my God. I mean, they played, there was, 200,000 people at that show? I mean, and that was just, it was unbelievable. And, I mean, the concert itself was great, but when Warren got up, I mean, it was electric. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was one of the greatest sit-ins I've ever seen in my life.
Train Dave would be something to see. I'd love to see because they're really good friends.
Yeah, well, Trace
stuff
sat in,
together.
yep, and Dave's come and sat in. You know, Dave sat in with the Rolling Stones one time, right?
Whoa.
He
Did
did,
he?
Yes.
He did Memory Motel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he did with them. But speaking of the Rolling Stones, 59 years today.
Wow.
Yes.
That's their first gig.
That was the 2 o'clock rock block today, which
That's where I get most of my information from Genesee Joe. Everybody's like, man, how do you know so much about music? I'm like, Genesee Joe. I literally have been listening to him since 1992, and I know everything because of him.
So you are
man. Thank you again, man.
You are a walking musical information box.
Absolutely.
I can't do my simple taxes. Just want you to know that, but I know all that other shit, yeah.
You know that who was it? Keith Moon paid off all these New York City cab drivers.
9 cab drivers
9
to
cab
block
drivers.
off each side of the street so he could empty everything out.
Well, what was the Derek and the Dominoes? I mean, that had a lot to do, the whole Derek and the Dominoes thing, okay? And I love talking about this because it's one of my favorite records ever. And Bell Bottom Blues, by the way, is still my favorite on that record. But
I'll play it for you later this afternoon.
Thank you, yeah. I mean, a lot of it is because I love the piano player, the way he sings that chorus is just, it's so energetic. But most of the record was written about Patty Boyd, which was George Harrison's wife at the time, and Eric Clapton was obsessed with her. And this all happened like right at the same time, and it was that was when they went to go see the Allman Brothers while they were just starting to go into the studio.
Yeah.
And they met Dwayne after the show and said, "Why don't you come down and jam with us?" And he came, and that's how he ended up on the record. Go ahead. I'm missing some stuff.
That's exactly how it happened. But in Greg's book, the funny thing is he said he looked down because they loved Cream. He looked down and saw Clapton and said, "Oh fuck!" As he was playing, I hope that Dwayne doesn't see him because he'll freak. It'll freak him out.
Sure.
And he said Dwayne played his ass off on that show. And at the end of it, he goes, they said, "Oh, come over here. Eric Clapton wants to meet you." And Greg said, "Yeah, I saw him, but I didn't want to let you know, brother, because I don't want you to get freaked out." He says, "I saw him the first minute he walked in. I turned around and kept my back to him."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But the coolest part about that too is it was like right after that record, or shortly after the record, is when Patty and George broke up, and then Eric and her got together.
Yeah.
And when they first moved into their house together, they're sitting around one day and they hear knock, knock, knock on the door. And Clapton opens the door, and there's George Harrison. The first thing he thinks, "Oh, here it is. He's here to beat me up." You know what I mean? Because I stole his wife.
Yep.
And because they were best friends before, "Oh, he stole my wife, so he's probably going to beat me up." He goes, "Hey, man, I'm recording down the road." He goes, "We're recording. We need somebody to come play a guitar solo. You want to hop in the car and go?" And he's like, "Okay, let me grab my guitar." They had the studio, and they were doing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and he recorded the solo for it. Like, literally that day. So
insane.
it's like you listen to all this stuff on the radio, you have no idea the stories behind what you're listening to, and that's
Let's
the
face it, when you're a Beatle, you have cords of women. You have women piled up like cordwood.
Yep.
Eric wants this one, and let him have them. Go ahead. And then they came back and they both banged Patty. It was Eiffel Tower time.
One more thing before we get out of here, because I know Justin's Justin has a gig tonight. He's playing at Harpoon Alley's. He's playing at Harpoon Alley's.
I got Rich Misucci's girlfriend coming and do an interview at 4 o'clock.
And Mossy's coming in.
Yeah, Mossy's coming in because she's got a golf tournament coming up.
Beautiful. And this is exactly what I want to talk to you about. And like, the Drive is the only station that opens up their doors to the local musicians. And so
Absolutely.
On behalf of all the local musicians, I want to thank you for that, because without that, I mean, it's such a key tool in this local music community that we have. And every week, and I know you just posted it just today, is like, where's everybody playing? And people are always posting on you're commenting on where they're playing and stuff like that. You're the only station that opens up their doors to the local musicians. So thank you, Joe.
Hey, listen, you know what? Thank you. It's a very big part of this area's history, right?
Yeah.
Two things. One, if I said I was going to get to you guys, like the Not Robots guys, I'm going to get to you. Mm-hmm. It's just so fucking busy down there sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get there. Believe me, I promise. The other thing is bringing up that club listings thing. I get a lot of replies, but every now and again, something gets run wrong, and somebody goes, "Oh, you put me on the wrong day." So, if you're a local musician, either A, go to the website and put all your information in yourself. It comes to me, I check it, and then put it up. So it doesn't go right up, and that's confused people. But if you reply to those Facebook things, put it in the way I asked for it.
Right.
So I can cut and fucking paste it, because that's how your real good information gets in there. It gets in there exactly the way you want it.
Yeah, you're not being a dick. You're just trying to make it easier for
the
everybody to get
artist,
seen,
the venue, the time, and then finally the date. Because if I just put in the artist, venue, and time, if people just look at the calendar, they can see that information. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So give it to me the way I asked for it. If you're playing 3 dates, do that 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't put your name in once and then give me the dates. Because now I'm cutting and pasting, and today I fucked up Julie Henderson's, and I felt bad about it. But you know what I mean? Like I cut the wrong stuff out.
Yeah, but at least you're doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's the
God damn it, follow my rule. No.
Right, yeah.
But it's such a useful tool, and thank you. And Moyer's thanking you, and there's a bunch of other people thanking you
that
for
page
doing what you do.
Gets the most hits. I mean, I get that information.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, go there and put your own information in. God damn it, I shouldn't have to ask every week.
And then one other thing, plug the Blue Society.
Blue Society, free blues picnic coming up this Sunday. 2 o'clock, Waterfront Park in Sylvan Beach. Room full of blues, a legendary band, 12-piece band with horns and the whole 9 yards. And then Los Blancos.
Yeah.
Local legends of their own. And then Todd's crew. And his band is great, too. So come on out to Sylvan Beach. It's absolutely free, and it starts at 2 on Sunday. And, of course, don't forget the open jam. And more people should come to the open jams at Piggy Pads.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like me, like COVID came and went, and Thunderwatt, bit the dust.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but Jim's doing very good down in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Slug does a few things, but everybody's busy. Guys live out of town. Fletcher's art career is amazing.
Yeah. It really is.
So you find yourself after this last year of like not having a band, come to these jams. Who knows what you might find?
True.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Please come out and join us.
Yeah, we're lucky we have you in our community, Joe. Thank you for all that you do.
Well, we're lucky we have shows like this. I mean, this is above and beyond the pall of the average, just, normal little podcast thing. You guys got a network, basically. And you give this Monday thing. I tune in every Monday. I chime in.
I know, you do.
Some days I don't, because I don't want to look like I'm trying to horn in.
Oh, no, please
But
do.
other times, I just like to hear my name.
You can horn in anytime you want,
Yeah,
pal.
I love it.
You have an open door policy anytime you want.
Sometimes I reply something and go, they haven't mentioned me yet. What's wrong?
That's called the Tim Moyer syndrome.
Yes, yeah.
And speaking of Moyer, I'm going to have him on because they got a new record coming out.
Don't do that.
Actually, that song was fantastic. I got to listen to it the other day.
Written by Jeff Moyer, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good, man. It sounds good. It's got this 90s vibe to it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's good hook to it.
Yes.
Justin, where are you playing this week? I know tonight you're at Harpoon Eddie's.
Tonight I'm at Harpoon Eddie's. I'm off tomorrow because I have a board meeting. Wednesday, I'm at the Brass Tack. Thursday, I'm at Babes. Friday, I'm at Fratello's with the Trio. Saturday, I have a private party with the Trio. And Sunday, I'm at Holland Heights Golf Course from 2 to 5.
Wow. Busy.
And then I'm
Leave some gigs for everybody else.
Then I play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again next week. So,
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So listen, first of all, you're going to get your time back on because you said you were going to bed at like 10 o'clock. You're going to get that back. But are you now realizing just how busy you were before COVID?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
During COVID, I didn't realize how actually nice it was.
2019.
What? How many?
276 shows in 2019, and
Insane.
that's give or take 20.
I just had to ask how many days a year there are. Oh no, 265. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
so I mean,
shit.
I was really busy, and I was almost as busy this summer as I was in 2019 for the summer.
Man.
So
God's honest truth. I want to come out and play a few songs with the Trio once.
yeah. Oh my God. Anytime you want.
You know what I mean?
You should.
Yeah, anytime you want.
That'd be a good fit.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Because I love you guys. I really do.
We
And
love
as
you.
guys, you're so much fun to hang around with. I mean, you come up to do an interview, and it does. It takes an hour and a half
to do a
me and
10-minute
Jose
interview. Yeah,
get
it's
going
great.
crazy.
Oh yeah,
talk about everything.
We talk about everything. It's great.
You
Yeah.
gotta,
But it's
him and I get together. It's a bitch session.
Should have heard us before you walked in. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. You guys are kind of a bucket list thing with me. So one of these days I will show up because
that means a lot, man. Really.
I played with a lot of guys, but then there are friends of mine that I've never played with.
Yeah.
And I want to just do it, just to say I did.
Yeah,
it ain't going to be good. Don't worry about it.
But you're always
I'll
welcome.
walk all over everything.
That's fine.
I have two things I need to plug tonight. Or the Levitt concert season or series is going to be inside at Munson.
Yes.
Michelle wanted me to plug that. Go check that out. Last week we were down there checking out Isaac French and that Brooklyn band. It was awesome. Good times. They're doing good things over there with Levitt. Also, this weekend I'm hosting the Syracuse Nationals. I'll be up there all weekend at the State Fairgrounds.
That's great.
I'm hosting the Nationals. So
awesome, man.
Introducing bands and giving shout-outs and taking over their social media. So I'll be there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday doing that.
That's
I think
awesome.
the Uncle
It
Louie.
really is. Where the hell did that come from?
I think the Uncle Louie guys will join me on Saturday. I think they're going to come hang out for a day with me too. So that goes down this weekend at the Syracuse National. So come hang out on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday go to Sylvan Beach and go hang out the Blue Society.
That's like inside and outside, though, isn't it? The Nationals, or is it basically all outside?
You know what?
Saturday's supposed to be beautiful. That's why.
It's going to be all over the place. The whole fair, pretty much.
Yeah.
They take
man,
over
I
the
should
whole
go
fair.
out and see you, man.
Yeah,
Can we
come
just
on.
talk about really quick before we leave about the greatest thing that's going to happen at the Levitt Amp this series this year? What is
the Reuben James?
The Reuben James reunion.
Yeah.
And it's like literally the only day off I have for the whole series.
Oh, we're going.
And I'm totally going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
In fact,
ran
we
into
should
him.
drink here.
It's in my calendar.
Let's get drunk here, and then we'll go over there and heckle them.
I'm down with that. Yeah. It'll be just like old times.
Just like old times.
We'll bring a flask for Jay Schnitz so we can fall off the stage like he did it. Yeah. All right. I'm down with that. Let's do it.
I love
It actually sounds like you got a plan.
Yeah.
But
Check out Joe on the Drive. He's live from 3 to 7 every day at 92.7.
actually, it's 2 to 8.
2 to 8. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They
I pre-recorded the last hour and get out of there.
did you get a raise?
I got a little bit of something.
No,
There you go.
you deserve it,
I
man.
did. Yeah,
You
hell
deserve
yeah.
it.
I got a little something. I told her I got a little something. She's like,
Man, they opened up that checkbook for my man over here.
Yep.
No, she did. You know what?
No,
she
she's
did.
good
That
people.
was
That's
cool.
great. Yeah, definitely. I just met her a couple, like last week.
Yeah. She told me that.
Yep.
She said thank you because
Yeah.
you said some nice stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, I have nothing but love for the Drive, man.
Yeah, same here.
And don't forget, speaking of radio pay, if you got a pile full of shit that you bought for your projects during COVID that's still sitting there, call Genesee Joe, because I've also been doing handyman crap. She gave me more money. It's still not a lot, but hey, what the fuck? At least we're all poor. At least everybody's broke at the Drive. It's not like Johnny Fat Cat sitting on a pile of gold toilets at his house in Poughkeepsie. We're all broke.
We are, for sure.
For sure.
Joe, I love you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Also, I love EJA Moving Services. Joey's at 307, Utica Coffee, my attorney Dave Longaretta, and the Saranac Brewery. Tomorrow I'll be back with Billy the Liquor Guy. Have you had Billy the Liquor Guy on yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, my God. We'll talk about it a little bit. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty epic podcast tomorrow, too. So join us tomorrow. And, Joe, thank you. Justin, have a great gig tonight. You guys all have yourself a good night. Later.